Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. If you caught the last one, and you probably did, right? We're friends. This is the yoga, the Crimmy convict yoga. No more cracks about the color of my legs. This is this time of year, people. I am in Arizona. So, when we finished off, we were doing warrior poses, right? We had done warrior one. We're going to now finish up the warrior poses, which is actually this puppy turned sideways so that you can get a kind of a better look at what we're doing here. Look at that. There we go. There we go. Right? Now, the goal in all of the poses, as always, is to just do them the best you can. Even if you can only do them for a short period of time, do them right? You're better off going that route than you are the other. And if you remember, the warrior, we wanted to be out here, right? We had the hand up this way. The warrior two, we're just going to extend it out, right? And once again, kind of like the downward dog, can you see the back of my foot, right? We're not doing this number. We're trying to stretch the Achilles tendon, and sometimes you can kind of press against, like this leg is pushing kind of against it, and it gives you an opportunity for a little stability. And then the idea is you want to get down low, so that this is probably as close to parallel as you can get. And then you want to hold that puppy. So like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This, people, is I think that's the second of the warrior poses. It is. I think that's warrior 2. 1, 2, and then the third we'll get to the other side. Again, in all of these also, we find ourselves in unusual positions with our body. It makes us want to hold our breath. And it is the exact opposite of everything that you're trying to do when you're out here. In theory, we're doing a kind of breathing called ACC, right? Your abdomen starts the breathing process, right? Then you go into your chest, and then the clavicular, right underneath your collarbones, is the top of your lobes of your lungs. In theory, when you're breathing in, you should be getting all of that. And if you don't, then those top lobes kind of get stuck with dirty air, right? It's your tidal volume of oxygen, but it kind of gets filthy and stale and disgusting, right? So the last thing you want to do is keep that crap in there. You're way better off if you can get it out. So there's our warrior 2. Oh, and it burns. You know what? I'm not doing this enough. Some of you have watched the videos and you've said, I'd love to do that, Tommy, I can't get off the couch. Or because I've had this or this or this, or I'm in the process of healing and we're going to be starting in a month, or we're going to be starting in 2 months. I am going to be doing another series of videos. One of them is going to be for people that literally can't get out of the chair. Right? Chair yoga is absolutely amazing. If you've never seen it done or you're not hip to it, chair yoga is pretty wild. It's worth checking out. But we're going to do a little of that, and we're also going to do just some basic mobility, get up off the couch kind of stuff, right? So that you're kicking it with Tommy and you're getting up, because this connection thing, right, is works a whole lot better if it's in kind of a holistic thing. So you get your body into some kind of shape, you're going to be a lot happier, I promise you, right? Oh, and now, and as I do this third one, the outside of my leg on this right side is just on fire, and it is so much harder to get low. Oh boy, is that hurt. Yo! That's a good thing. Ooh, I can see a hawk. Yo! stretch that thing out a little bit. My pool vac, I don't know if you heard that noise. That was my vacuum in the pool. The automatic vacuum cycles through every once in a while and kicks all the oxygen out, and now the hose is floating up. That was my third and final set. So we're going to be going the opposite direction. You're getting that left foot out in front. As always, you're probably 1 foot dominant to the other, right? You notice when I was doing this number, right? I was a whole lot better on one leg than I was on the other. If you haven't seen that yet, shame on you. Again, get out there, right? And you're gonna wanna keep that foot flat if at all possible. You don't wanna be up in the air with that. If you can only do it for a short period of time, then only do it for a short period of time. But do it right, and you'll get more out of it. And breathing. Everybody breathing? Now, I know all of you are doing this. You're not just watching in hopes that I have a wardrobe malfunction. Huh? There's another one. We have birds everywhere. I bet Squirrel Nut Zipper is at the door. Having a bad time. You're getting up, moving around. If you can't do the poses, don't, right? You can always do an abbreviated version of this, people. It doesn't matter if you're here. Wherever you can get yourself to, you're pushing yourself. You're not trying to compete against me, right? You're not trying to compete against anyone else. This is beautiful because there's not like a whole room full of people that are judging you and how you look anyway, right? Although I talked Johnny Scoville into doing yoga with me. I don't know if you've ever seen Chris Farley when he does the dancing on Saturday Night Live with Patrick Swayze. That was actually Johnny that mentioned that this could be that kind of a thing, but it's going to be worth watching. It's going to be funny, I promise. And Johnny's funny. All right, here we go. Then get down there, though. If this is the best you can do, people, we're good. Do what you can do. But the more you get down there, the more you're going to be feeling it all the way through that leg. And the closer you can get to that leg being parallel to the ground, the more you're going to be stretching out not only that leg, but the hammy, the calf, the Achilles tendon. Breathing. Breathing. Did you hear that pop? Ooh. How's that, people, from a pose? You may not believe this, but that was my chest. Ouch. That's okay. That's okay. Probably should stretch a little, honestly. But I'm not going to sit here and stretch with you people while we're doing the, I'm not going to keep you here for 10, 15 minutes of stretching before we get rolling. But you should be doing a little basic stretching before you get rolling. Even if all you're doing is loosening yourself up a little bit, you know, shaking stuff out, right? So that you're not just coming out ice cold. Maybe do a push-up or two, right? Some squats, right? Do that thing where you grab your foot and then hop through it. I'm kidding, don't do this. This is not good. Last one. So you gotta get way out this time. Really earn it. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 4, come on, 5. You can do this. 6, 7, breathing. 8, 9, 11. All right. That, people, was the second of the warrior poses. Now, before we do the third, I'm going to stretch out the insides of my legs a little bit. Because, before we do the third of the warriors. Because this, people, for me, is one of the exercises that makes all of the other ones possible. Hopefully you can see me. I'm not sure exactly how far down this goes, but hopefully you can see me. This is what I was talking about the other day. When I started this yoga journey, the distance that I could get from my head to my feet was about 1.5 miles. And the prospect that at some point you could probably get your head to your feet seemed a bit silly, honestly. But I watched other people do it, and you start realizing that relaxing. If you start to really control breathing. All right, I'm not a small dude, right? I am not a small dude. I promise you, if I can get to where I can put my head between my feet like that, then I promise you, you can at least start getting flexible. By the way, when I started doing yoga, I was 260 pounds. And I got to a point where I could do almost every one of these at 260 pounds. All of these holds, these moves, they are a hell of a lot easier now. I promise. They are a hell of a lot easier now. But the idea is we get the ball rolling, right? We want to get off the couch. We want to start this whole thing going. People, there are yoga poses that are going to bring out the worst in all of you when it comes to clowning Tommy, right? We're not going to have any clowning of Tommy. All right. The Last of the Warriors, right? The Last of the Warriors looks quite a bit like you're getting down into your normal warrior pose, right? And then they want you to get your hand down to the ground, right? Now, oftentimes you'll see people use a block or they'll use their hands like this. But in a perfect world, you'd like to be able to have this straight and the hand down. That's not going to happen to this cat, I promise. The knees just ain't gonna happen. But to get into some semblance of that position, and that's probably what I'm looking at for, some semblance of that position, right, is right around here. And then I'm gonna hold that pose. Now, I promise you that's not according to Hoyle, but that is definitely how we did it in the journey. Because knocking out the combo from one side to the other, in fact, in prison, every one of these moves transforms from one to the next. You don't have time to take breaks between poses because of how much time you're allotted to get in there and do what you do. So, as an example, when we would do downward dog, right? You would go from downward dog into, right, the upward dog position, right? And then we would drop into a couple of push-ups, right? And then back up, and then they would say, float one leg, and hold it, and then throw it up, and go into the warrior, and all of these things, and we're going to eventually, right? Eventually where we're going with this is, that's where we're gonna end up. Now the beauty is, you can watch Tommy's videos again and again and again. You can stick on the beginning stuff until you start feeling like you're getting a little better at it. And when you want to step up a little bit or you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, there's going to be some days we do this that are going to be almost more like cardio because of how we do the yoga. Boy, that stretch, I feel like a new man. I'm going to do that again. And then I'm going to bust out the dogs, the warrior 3 poses. And then we're going to wrap this thing up because I'm trying to keep these to about the 15 to 20 minute mark. I did the last one 30. 2 problems with that. One is I don't want people committed to that much time. If you could bust out 15 to 20 minutes a day, right, you can get a lot out of yoga. So, and these, where we're just learning the poses a little bit, will transform into something that is far more difficult, but it will do so at a rate that you're comfortable with. Okay. So I'm just going to stretch one more time because, as I said, I can't begin to tell you just how much this really helps with just about everything of it. All of the other stuff I do. Don't trip if your head's not all the way down. I promise you, it's just a matter of time. Give me just a little more time. All right. I believe we were going this way, were we not? So, as always, you're looking for a spot in space. Pick a cloud. Currently, the moon is actually out, which is kind of cool because it does give me an opportunity to get a really cool thing to lock onto in space. Literally. Oh, let's get that heel down. By the way, this will be your upward. All right, people. Now, keep this short. When we bust these things out, all of you can come up with about 17 minutes a day, no? Come on. I promise you, you can come up with 17 minutes a day. Now, travels. No rumor, no truth to the rumor that we will be doing naked twister or yoga here on the lifeboat. However, as the summer progresses and I get a tan, I don't know, maybe, but it's another hawk. I can't stress how important it is. Market Wages and I talked about this in the very beginning, early days of the boat. You're not gonna get the results you want in life if you attack one part of it. Plain and simple. As we're trying to get out of doing dope, as we're trying to get out of whatever it is you're trying to stop and begin something else, instilling new habits as opposed to just trying to get rid of old ones is absolutely amazing what it can do for you, right? Hands down. Easier to develop a habit than it is to bust a habit. Take 15 minutes a day and get off of your keister, right? Get off your keister, walk around. I want to tell you something, people. I got in really phenomenal shape in prison, and this was the routine. I would go 1, 2, 3, and on the fourth one, I had to turn, right? It's 12 feet long. You're not getting a whole lot of steps. But man, oh man, if you got the will and the desire, you could take a walk-in closet and turn it into a gym, right? Or you could turn it into anything else, right? Did a lot of journaling, did a lot of meditation, a lot of stuff in there, honestly. Get a mat, get a piece of carpet, right, in your house. Pick a spot on the carpet and get busy. You can do this. Get off of the couch. If all you can do is get up and do this number, start getting up and doing this, for real, right? Start doing this. I've told you the story about my boy. My boy's name was Austin. Austin was 360 pounds. And we would be walking as fast as we could around the outside, and we'd go by his cell. He'd be in there, I mean, as big as a house, but he'd be in there going like this. And these guys would be going, look at it, he's doing Jane Fonda. Ha, 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 ha. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, the fool was about 15 pounds lighter. And he just continued, and he continued, and continued. And he's on the street, he's free, he's killing it. Got himself a commercial truck driving license and has been filling his house with computer equipment. He's doing a lot of really interesting stuff with social media. He's probably going to be doing some stuff with the boat. But this dude weighs 190 pounds. If you want to weigh less, we absolutely can help you. I promise you. I promise you. And we could probably do it differently. Like we do everything else at the boat, it's probably going to be a little different. It's going to have to do a lot with some protein. People, I do not get hungry. I literally don't get hungry. And I don't get hungry because this is my theory. I truthfully believe this. We eat in search of protein. Instead, what we get is carbs, right? And we get empty crap that does nothing, right? But fill you up. And you continue to eat because your body is craving what it needs, right? The basic building blocks. And if you're not giving it to it, So I overload myself with protein. I take a lot of it. And then I go about my day and I do what I do. But my body's not seeking out mad amounts of stupid food to try to find protein. We're going to do shows on this. I'm not going to waste any more of your time here. But get off the couch. Get up. Huh? People, I promise you, you're going to thank me in the long run. Start taking care of the body. Start taking care of the mind, right? Start being kinder to one another. And start treating yourself like you're the most important project that you've got, right? Start treating yourself like 12 months from today, you want to be a different animal than you are right now. And guess what'll happen? You'll be a different animal. You think I'm BSing? I was 280 pounds and I was a convicted bank robber. I promise you, people, get off the couch and start moving. Other things, when you start adding building blocks to your life, you start getting healthy, you start feeling better about yourself, self-esteem starts to get better, you start to journal, you realize why the self-esteem wasn't good in the first place. You start doing a little bit more with activities and hobbies and things. You start getting off of the ground, right? Being healthier, you start feeling good, you develop a body that you can be happier about. I promise you, it will make you feel better. And if that's not the route you want to go, then we will love you exactly how you are. But get your butt up anyway, because I promise you, your quality of life requires our ability to do some moving around, right? We don't have to be Fred Astaire, but for God's sakes, we got to move around. Get up, make it happen. I'm Captain Tommy, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.